This presentation is about the report genre. The learning intention is to better understand the purpose and structure of the report genre. To be successful, you will be able to use the templates and scaffolds to write a report. The templates and scaffolds are taken from the Southern Cross Style Guide, pages 18 to 24. What is a report? A report is an informative text. It presents very factual and informative information, provides advice, suggestions, recommendations, which are all evidence-based, based on research, based on data, not based on opinion. The audience depends on the type of report. Throughout this presentation, you will see the skeleton, I guess, of an accounting type report that would be for a business manager, but you can write reports for science, you can write reports for mathematics, you can write reports for health and physical education, remembering that a report is an informative text, so it can present any information that is evidence-based, data-based, just not opinion-based. The features: very formal language is used. The language is precise, objective, and factual. It is impersonal, which means it cannot be written in first person. It must be written in third person. What that means, remembering, is that it cannot use words like "I suggest this," "we should do this." It is in third person. Action verbs are used, very much so in the recommendations part of a report. It suggests actions to take based on the evidence, based on the data, based on the research. It is written in present tense. It has complex sentences. Descriptive language is used to convey the facts. Technical terms are used, so depending on your subject area, lots of definitions, lots of language presented that is focused on that subject or the specific topic. Personal expressions and opinions are not in reports. A report structure is presented in sections. Each section is on a separate page. So, for example, the introduction may only be a short paragraph, but a proper report then goes to the next blank page to present the next section. It doesn't combine sections on the same page. So you can end up with a very lengthy document, but that's because a proper, true report has the different sections on separate pages regardless of how small or short the sections are. So these sections are to assist with the writer and their organisation of the information. It's very clear, prescribed and logical. Often people think of a report this way, that you can read an introduction, which is on one page. You can actually flick through a lot of the guts of the report if you're just trying to summarise very quickly or get a general gist of what the report's about. You can skip all those middle pages, very quickly find the page with the conclusion and the recommendations to get a gauge of what the report's about. So having those sections on different pages and having the numbering system that's used, it helps the writers organise their information, and it also helps the audience or the reader find what they're looking for really quickly with numbering systems, subheadings, paragraphs and sections. So taken from the style guide, this is a very formal report and the structure of it. All reports need to have a cover page and a title page. The next section, the executive summary, very optional, more secondary or tertiary based, probably not for your middle years students. Contents page, we all know what that is, listing the sections of a report and then listing which page you can find those sections on. A list of figures is then followed by an introduction. Methodology is also optional for your senior or tertiary type students. The body or statement of findings, this is the biggest part of your report. So this is where you present all of your research in different sections, or you present all the data you've collected, or you present all the facts that you have found. Then you conclude, summarising all of your findings. Recommendations. So this is the very unique part of a report, that you take the research, the data, the findings, and you are advising someone. What do we need to do from here? What is recommended for progress? Appendices and reference lists are also included. So let's look at each section of the report. A cover page or a title page. So as you can see, and as I suggested before, that this little example is based on accounting, and it would be for a business manager or a business owner. So you can see the type of detail there that would be on a title page. So this example is focusing on financial ratios, which is a particular senior accounting topic prepared by your name. For a business owner, you would put the business name in there if it's referring to a particular case, a case study, for example. Right, you can see the contents page. We all know what a contents page looks like, but one thing that might look a bit different here is the numbering system that's happening. So 1.0 is an introduction, 2.0 is the next section, the profitability ratios. 3.0, 4.0, that numbering system is very unique, but critical in a report. As I said, it helps the organizer, helps the writer organize their writing. It helps the reader or the audience find sections really quickly. Okay, so a list of figures. This would be pages 3 to 5 according to my contents page. This is where in other topics or other subject areas you might include maps, graphs, photographs, tables, but in my very accounting based example, I would have the spreadsheets where I actually calculated the profitability, the management, and the financial stability ratios. So they're similar to an appendices, but I guess it's the basis of what your report is then written about. It's the stimulus, or in this part the case study, whereby I calculated ratios in a separate activity on an Excel spreadsheet, and it forms the basis of what this report is about. So the body would be the biggest part of your report. You can see at the top that these sections would be spread out between pages 6 to 9. So the introduction would be on page 6. My discussions about the profitability ratios would be on page 7. My discussions about the management effectiveness ratios would be on page 8. And my discussions about the financial stability ratios in accounting for a business would be on page 9. That's why this section goes for pages 6, 7, 8, and 9, because we remember that each section goes on a separate page. You can see the numbering system is more detailed on this screen, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and so on. So really prescriptive, really scaffolded. Then we keep going, so pages 9 to 13. Okay, so page 9 would be our conclusion. No new information, you just summarise what you have discussed or presented throughout the body. Recommendations. So I have mentioned before that the recommendations is a key part of a report. You make suggestions, you give advice to your audience. Appendices for this case might be your income statement and balance sheet of the business and a reference list. Were we successful? Do you now have a better understanding of the purpose and structure of a report? Do you think you can use the templates and scaffolds to write a report? Thank you.